U.S., Seattle Tzu Chi volunteers distributed cash cards to residents affected by wildfire. Patients of total laryngectomy are fighting to get their second chance in speaking again. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. In the United States, a wildfire devastated Tonasket region, Washington, in mid-August. At the request of Red Cross, Seattle Tzu Chi volunteers drove 5 hours to distribute cash cards and necessities to the Native Americans affected by the fire. Here's the news.
Tzu Chi Seattle chapter. After receiving the American Red Cross's request, volunteers drove a 5-hour one-way trip to the affected area Tonasket, distributing cash cards and supplies.
We just didn't get everything that we wanted to get because that wind turned around, and within the hour everything was gone on our side of the mountain. So, yeah.
One blanket, do you want to bring one?
I would definitely.
Speaking with tears in her eyes, Donna D. Fout suffered great economic losses after her farm burnt down. The 17 affected residents that gathered here are mostly residents affected by the forest fires while encountering the pandemic. An act of kindness and words of encouragement, volunteers are here for them.
The Malaysian government started the second round of National Cash Assistance Plan. Consumer Association of Penang's director, Mohideen Abdul Kader, said that people should be more prudent in their expenses. Another economist, Chung Huck Khoon, suggests using money to developing their professional skills while boosting the nation's economy.
In April, the Malaysian government has started the National Cash Assistance Plan, and after that, the National Cash Assistance Plan 2.0 will begin on September 27th. 17 billion USD will be distributed in October, helping the low-income and middle-class groups. Consumer Association of Penang's director, Mohideen Abdul Kader, thinks that even with the government's money, citizens should spend with caution.
I think the government did the right thing to provide some aid to those who really need it. But I think that money must be spent wisely. You should not regard it as a bonus, because people must realize the economic situation is very uncertain. Even economists are unable to predict. All they're saying is we'll have a recession. And secondly, their loans are suspended, but it's not forgiven, You still have to pay.
Starting July 29th, the Malaysian government announced that the loan relief plan is applicable at the end of September, as it provides a 3-month grace period to unemployed people. Although the loan relief plan is in play, but when the time comes, the citizens still have to prepare enough money to pay back their debts.
First of all, you should budget. That means you don't go beyond the amount you have. So if you're earning $2,000, try to live within the $2,000.
Economist Chung Huck Khoon thinks that citizens can use their money on learning skills or entrepreneurship, maximizing the value of money while boosting the nation's economy.
Actually, I think the best way is to invest in yourself, to learn, sell things online, or take online courses in order to adapt to this new environment. If you have spare cash, look for the government's economic plans for entrepreneurship, and then you may turn risk into opportunities. In the end, you can help the country and society.
Living in an age of economic recession, citizens must be careful with spendings and mindful of opportunities in order to stay strong through tough times.
The COVID-19 epidemic has led the Malaysian government to provide 71 billion USD in aid to its citizens, amounting to 20% of GDP. Malaysia's National Bank has also implemented a 6-month moratorium on loan repayment. Starting in October, many people have to start repaying their loans. Follow our report as we learn more about the effect of the government's stimulus packages and how the economy can recover.
In the face of the COVID-19 epidemic, the Malaysian government's aid to its citizens has reached $71 billion, accounting for 20% of GDP. Economist Dr. Chung Huck Khoon believes the government's successive aid programs have begun to play a significant role in the country's economic revitalization.
We have seen that the government has taken these various measures, and the data in the last few months is actually quite impressive. In April, we imported more than exported, and big companies have already made some achievements. The Malaysian Institute of Economic Research report for the second quarter showed that consumer confidence index rebounded in April, May, and June. The government has spent this money, which has buoyed the overall economy.
政府花了这个钱上，已经把这个气氛弄起来。
Though Malaysia's economy has shown signs of improvement, the people still have to face the test of repaying loans in October. The Bank Negara Malaysia has implemented a 6-month deferment of loan repayment from April 1st. The delayed repayment of loans is estimated to be worth $15 billion. This deferred loan repayment ended on September 30th. Having enjoyed the feeling of being debt-free for half a year, are Malaysians ready to repay in October?
整体上呢，有一些人呢。
Looking at the whole, some people will definitely have some problems, and some people will be able to afford it. Actually, the government has a new strategy. If you have been laid off, you can apply for a later payment. If your salary is reduced, you can request a reduction in the monthly loan repayment amount. But I believe the impact will not be great.
它会影响，但是呢，它的影响呢，相信不会很大。
The economic assistance launched by the Malaysian government hopes to help people economically affected by the epidemic. The assistance has boosted consumption, which is a long-term solution, as a good financial budget, proper assessment of needs and desires are the best way to achieve financial freedom.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, schools in the pandemic red zone have begun online learning to protect students' safety. But remote learning requires large amounts of data, which many low-income families cannot afford. In Bekasi, the government has set up a free Wi-Fi spot at the local district office so students may continue with their learning.
Not far from Jakarta, this is Bekasi. Studying online at home had brought much economic pressure to low-income families. The local government has set up a free Wi-Fi spot at the district's office for the students in need. Having weak Wi-Fi signals at home or not being able to pay for internet fees, these problems are resolved since the space opens from morning 8 a.m. to afternoon 4 p.m. The caring village chief also motivates colleagues to help students review assignments.
Jadi ya ketika mereka diwajibkan untuk setiap hari membeli kuota, sedangkan masyarakat saya kebanyakan.
The students have to pay for data every day, and most of their parents do odd jobs such as construction workers, stall owners, or drivers. They cannot pay for their children's data fee.
Maka anak-anak kan tidak punya fasilitas untuk mereka belajar secara online di rumah masing-masing, seperti itu.
The free internet temporarily solved the problems of unstable signals and the high prices of data for students.
If we study at home, the data is used up quickly. If we want to call our teacher or search on the web, we have to go out to buy more data.
Google segala macam, makan kota Kak, terus kalau habis bolak-balik, terus di sini kan ada yang ngasih tahu Kak. Kalau di sini selain ada
With this place, students may gather together, and there's equipment to use, so we don't have to worry about not having data.
During the pandemic, classes are suspended, but learning is still ongoing. The Bekasi government hopes that through the free Wi-Fi service, online learning of the low-income family students in other districts can be improved.
In Indonesia, a youth group in Jakarta initiated a phone lending plan. Phone owners with extra phones can lend them to students from poor families. The plan also offers data plan subsidy to allow students to participate in online learning on a daily basis.
Due to a poor economic situation and without a cell phone, students have a hard time attending online courses. Rehan's mother is a housewife while his father is unemployed due to the pandemic. Because of this, he has to go to his cousin's house in order to borrow a cell phone for class. Recently, a youth group in Jakarta has started an online help plan. Extra phones in the household may go through a youth group to the students from poor families. In the neighborhoods, youth group members go from door to door in order to collect phones for students.
During the pandemic, my son has to go to his aunt's house whenever there's a class. He needs a cell phone to attend online class.
Senang sekali bisa tidak.
I'm very happy because I do not have to borrow a cell phone anymore. I can learn at home.
Belajarnya di rumah.
If a student has a cell phone at home but is unable to pay for data, the student's eligible for a $3 subsidy.
Kita akhirnya punya program namanya Bantu Anak Jakarta. Nah, kita coba share di sosial media kita dan mendapatkan.
We brought this aid plan to the students in Jakarta, and through the internet promotion, we received a lot of support. Many young people joined us and brought the support to students in need of data.
Langsung ke masyarakat yang memang membutuhkan kuota internet maupun HP untuk proses belajar.
In the northern part of Jakarta, a group of police officers volunteered to become teachers during the COVID pandemic. They hope to temporarily bridge the absence of school, teaching some 40 primary school students every day in reading, writing, and math. Here's the story.
Studying at home has a totally different meaning during the pandemic. Without sufficient learning resources or environment, children can only play outdoors to pass the time. Northern Jakarta, a group of police have seen the negative impact on children every day as it began to encourage outdoor learning for the students. Not only did they provide learning equipment, these police also act as temporary teachers, teaching them arithmetic, reading, and writing.
Pada saat ini kami sedang mengadakan kegiatan.
We are currently promoting the concept that police can be good friends to the children. This is our activity as we are providing a place for students to study.
Ya, dalam memfasilitasi anak-anak yang saat ini belum bisa bersekolah langsung di sekolahnya.
Every day, 40 students come to class here. They are divided into 2 classes as they take turns attending class.
Anak-anak senang sekali, gembira anak-anak pada kumpul di sini.
The children are very happy to come here to study. Classes are safe and they keep the proper distance. We are very supportive of this government activity.
Ada komplain apa nih? Nggak ada. Jadi sangat mendukung program pemerintah itu. Nah, bagus ini.
My son is very happy and looks forward to coming here every day. I came here just now at 9 o'clock, though classes only start at 10. I'm also very happy to run back and forth to make this trip.
While this part of the highway has become their classroom, the traffic flow outside does not seem to affect their interest in learning, nor the mood of these young students.
Speech comes naturally for most people, but for some, they may lose this gift because of cancer or other illnesses. Every year, around 200 patients undergo total laryngectomy, losing their voices as well as their ability to breathe through their mouth and nose. The drastic change in the body make it difficult to eat and speak. Here's more about the plight of many battling an unspeakable illness.
The moment when a baby is born, they let out a cry, as the voice is something that accompanies us as we grow older. But for a group of people, their voice may be lost because of illness.
The throat is a bit like a pufferfish. It can be big and one small. When we speak, we enlarge the esophagus.
As soon as we open the mouth, he has extremely low voice, speaking word by word, communicating through his esophagus. Zhang Qizhong shuttled through different wards of the hospital. He knew the pain of losing his voice and the road he would have to walk through rehab.
He has more difficulty swallowing and eating food. His esophagus is beginning to atrophy.
Mr. Zhang comes to hospital wards to visit patients who had just finished their operation. As part of his weekly routine, Mr. Zhang, who has cancer recurring, writes the character's difficulty with a pen.
He communicates slowly. He tries once and then tries, and the third time he loses his temper. It's okay. This is natural to get angry if we can't talk. We all will be like this, right?
Impermanence in life is something that no one expects, as Mr. Zhang told himself that he wanted to teach others how to love with this impairment.
He took the initiative to come to us. Originally, my husband completely gave up treatment. He left a note to tell me not to save him. He said that if he doesn't have these thoughts and can't speak, what is the meaning of his life?
A patient who is about to give up on surgery but instead endured hours of painful operations and is still unable to speak continues to have a smile on his face.
这样子就很工整了，你看。哇，写得好整齐。对，他淌着血。他完全是从绝望到燃起生命的。
He went from despair to being inspired in his life. Now he is at a point where he can get up again.
Seeing him like this, I'm really satisfied.
In fact, most of the patients are in the middle of their life when they get sick. They are also often the breadwinner of their family. Once they have their vocal cords removed and cannot speak, their work, their livelihood, and social life will be greatly affected.
It was really useless as I couldn't speak. It was almost a year.
Having a tracheotomy in the neck means it can be more difficult for them when it comes to both eating and breathing.
患者如果接受全喉切除手术之后呢，这个整个喉部
If a patient undergoes a total laryngectomy, the entire larynx is removed, and the remaining trachea will be pulled up to the neck. This will leave a stoma on the lower neck. This means that food, which is eaten, goes through one channel, and breathing takes place from another tracheostomy, which takes breath into lungs.
有另外一个气管造口啊，这直接这个呼吸到这个肺部。
This means that breathing can no longer be done by drawing in air through the nose and mouth as before, but through a new stoma in the neck. People without a throat also lose their voice, but they can still learn to regain the ability to speak.
The Tainan Tzu Chi Senior High affiliated kindergarten has officially opened this year, and there are 30 students of different ages. Many parents waited for a good year for this day. Since it was the first day, there were, of course, laughter as well as tears.
It's the first day of kindergarten, and these students do not want to be here. With students having separation anxiety, the teachers try to calm them down by doing story time. One second before he was crying, but now he's eating his meal without a fuss.
一直涂不好啊，我们直接玩。我不喜欢吃肉，吃太太只会身体一样。
I like eggs and corn the most, also seaweed.
还有海苔，我吃很快。他也喜欢吃炒饭。
同学喜欢吃炒饭，同学说的对吗？雨柔说的对吗？
They can make friends by eating a meal together. Most of the time, the students enjoy the day at school, but sometimes situations come up.
We are prepared for this. We know the kids will experience separation anxiety, so we allow them to spend a bit of time with the parents before they leave.
I have such respect for the teachers. As the students constantly cry for their mother, the teacher would then exchange conditions. If they cry less, then we can call mom, but if you cry loudly, I might forget the telephone number. After nap time, sometimes the children then had more energy to cry some more.
This is the first day of school for the kindergarten, and the teachers patiently help the students feel secure in coming here.
If your vow is great, then your strength is even greater. We're happy to be able to attend the school in this stage of our life.
There's a Jingsa aphorism that talks about the resilience of grass and how to help nurture them. Tzu Chi is a place worth investing our children's future in.
Some parents have waited a year to register their children, as they look forward to joining this happy, joyful family.
To help children get closer to nature, kindergarten affiliated with Tainan Tzu Chi Senior High School installed playground equipment in an outdoor space surrounded by trees. The school hopes to incorporate outdoor activities into the curriculum and teach students to respect and appreciate their natural surroundings.
Sliding down from the treehouse, this playground is so fun to play in.
I like rocks too, because rocks can be like candy. I can pretend I'm selling candy.
Rocks and the treehouse help merge together a fun time for children and adults, where they can play like they are operating a store.
6个，我要白色的耶。哦，有7个。关店了。
Some of the children are fine on the first day of school, but on the second day, they start to recognize their environment and the novelty wears off and becomes distant. So having outdoor activities will help them calm down.
Tzu Chi Tainan Kindergarten incorporates play as part of their studies, with Tzu Chi's tea culture, floral arrangement, sensory activities, environmental conservation, and international humanitarian lessons.
We want our children to be a part of nature. They can't be clean each day. It's best for them to be in nature each day. I will plan a farm area and our eco pond. It's going to be completed one at a time.
It helps to strengthen their concept of plant life and how to appreciate them.
Parents can feel safe and secure handing over their children to Tzu Chi, as students are not only learning, but the parents are also growing.
In Southern California, the Community Health and Resource Fair was held at Dimas City Hall. Tzu Chi was invited to participate. Volunteers set up booths to promote vegetarianism through games. Take a look.
At the Community Health and Resource Fair, hosted by City of St. Dimas, social distancing was strictly observed. Tzu Chi put up photos of vegetarian celebrities at the booths and also prepared games to attract people.
I love it. It was fun, the memory game especially. And with the questions, I didn't get it right. But it was fun, like a kid.
Tzu Chi was invited to participate in the fair and seized the opportunity to promote vegetarianism.
The most important thing is to share about vegetarianism, but we used games to help everyone understand the importance of vegetarian food in sustaining environmental protection and the planet.
During the epidemic, it's rare to go out and relax. Thus, this opportunity to have a more correct knowledge of embracing vegetarianism was great.
I'm Mexican, so I eat a lot of beans, a lot of grains. It's how I was raised. And it's good, and here it's different, but I think one day we should come together and do the plant-based thing.
They know that it takes 5,000 gallons of water to feed a cow. 73% of a plant-based diet will actually save resources for the earth.
Tzu Chi volunteers are taking active actions to help residents build an academic prevention net and protect their health.
Tzu Chi volunteers distributed food to low-income families in the drive-thru. The volunteers also promoted vegetarian diet to raise awareness. We'll leave you with the footage. Thank you for watching. See you next time.